Ever wanted to discover more about Edward Teach, also known as the notorious pirate Blackbeard? Envision yourself in the early 18th century, during the height of the golden age of piracy. Ships brimming with spices, gold, and other treasures throng the seas. Blackbeard is one of the most infamous pirates, dreaded for his vicious ways and terrifying looks. The very mention of Blackbeard's name was enough to make even the most courageous sailors shudder. The terrifying ship Queen Anne's Revenge served as both throne and fortress for Blackbeard. He and his ragtag company set sail for the seven seas from this point on, robbing and pillaging along the way. Any ship that dared to cross their path was faced with a horrifying sight. A massive pirate ship, crewed by ruthless individuals, headed by a man whose menacing black beard obscured his face and whose eyes blazed with an intense, scary intensity. The art of psychological warfare and intimidation was perfected by Blackbeard. His prey were more likely to give up without a struggle if they perceived him as frightening. They willingly surrendered, thus adding to Blackbeard's vast wealth. He could profit handsomely from the valuable items he seized, such as sugar and cocoa, along with jewels and gold. It was not merely Blackbeard's outward look, but also his shrewdness and strategic acumen that brought him notoriety. Often, he would kidnap ships and demand a ransom when they tried to enter or leave ports. He wanted it all, and as a pirate, he knew just how to get it. The adage, "The bigger they are, the harder they fall," applies. When British Lieutenant Robert Maynard eventually defeated and executed Blackbeard in 1718, his reign of terror came to an end. This marked the end of one of the most notorious pirates' ruthless rule. However, another tale began with Blackbeard's death, a mystery that has enthralled people for more than 3 centuries. There was no sign of Blackbeard's fabled wealth or treasure. The search for Blackbeard's wealth now commenced. "Nobody but myself and the devil knows where it is," Blackbeard himself warned at one point. Like his life, Blackbeard's demise was dramatic. In November 1718, a violent naval battle claimed the life of Edward Teach, known by his pirate moniker, Blackbeard. A resolute officer of the Royal Navy of Great Britain, Lieutenant Robert Maynard, spearheaded the prosecution against him. Fought in North Carolina's coastal waters, the combat was vicious and terrible. Despite his terrifying reputation and crafty strategies, Blackbeard ultimately faced defeat. As a terrifying warning to other pirates, Maynard's ship had his severed head displayed on the bowsprit. A surprising turn of events occurs at this point, though. The hunt for Blackbeard's vast wealth commenced following his demise. Word got out of a huge fortune. Stories of ships looted for money, diamonds, and other valuables. But they turned up empty-handed when they combed Blackbeard's hideouts and his flagship, Queen Anne's Revenge. They found not a single treasure chest. There were no chests filled with gold. The chests were devoid of any gems. It seemed as though the priceless artifact had disappeared. Or maybe it had never been. His wealth vanished without any trace, leading to a century of mystery and conjecture. The myth of Blackbeard's stolen wealth took root, a riddle that has held our attention ever since. For ages, people have looked for Blackbeard's stolen wealth, but they haven't found it. Many people are still fascinated by Edward Teach's, Blackbeard's, ill-gotten wealth. If Blackbeard's loot really exists, it has remained just as elusive as the notorious pirate himself. Over the years, several hypotheses have been proposed as to where Blackbeard's fortune may lie in wait. Some speculate that Blackbeard's hidden treasure might be in Bogue Inlet, a coastal spot in North Carolina where his flagship, Queen Anne's Revenge, ran aground. Some think that Blackbeard's buried treasure is on Ocracoke Island, the site of his brutal death. Legend has it that Blackbeard's ghost still lingers on the island, adding to the wealth of pirate history. However, some hypotheses extend much further. It is also said to be in the Caribbean, the very place where Blackbeard previously tormented the high seas. Rumors circulated that the pirate's loot could be stashed in caverns or buried on the beaches of other islands as a result of his extensive raiding adventures throughout these waterways. Blackbeard's visit to Virginia's coastal regions remains a possibility. One intriguing thing about this treasure hunt, though, is that there isn't a regular treasure map. There is a common misconception that pirates left behind maps marked with an X. Naturally, this just heightens the air of secrecy surrounding Blackbeard's wealth. Reportedly, the pirate himself maintained that the location of his wealth was known only to him and Satan. This mysterious statement has continued to captivate people and has inspired several treasure hunts. Not on his ships, not in the places he visited, and not even in his home has tangible proof of Blackbeard's wealth been discovered. Despite these lengthy investigations and the temptation of discovering a legendary fortune, the treasure, like the infamous pirate, remains shrouded in myth and mystery. Thorough searches have yielded no tangible proof of the treasure's presence. The mysterious tale surrounding Edward Teach, also known as Blackbeard, is just as captivating as the fortune that he amassed. This mystery is what really draws people to Blackbeard's treasure. This infamous pirate, believed to have amassed an unfathomably large wealth, once tormented the seas during the golden age of piracy. But Blackbeard's treasure is still evading capture, carried away by the ebb and flow of history, despite his notorious reputation and the many tales of his adventures. Mysteries and intrigue abound in the tale of Blackbeard's riches. According to folklore, Blackbeard, the notorious pirate, once boasted that only he or the devil could reveal his vast treasure. This audacious claim not only imbues the treasure with a sense of mystery, but also gives it an aura of the otherworldly. It's a story that has intrigued those looking for treasure for generations, leading them on innumerable adventures to uncover its fate. However, media frequently portrays an idealized concept of hidden pirate wealth, one that is largely fictional. In reality, only 2 pirate treasures have ever been found, and none of them involve Blackbeard. Regardless, the myth lives on, driven by the irresistible chance of discovering a fabled treasure. From the rocky shores of the Caribbean to North Carolina's Ocracoke Island, the hunt for Blackbeard's riches has crossed continents. However, despite numerous theories and thorough searches, no tangible proof of the treasure's existence has emerged. Divergent opinions exist regarding its potential hiding place. Some think it's in the remains of Blackbeard's flagship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, while others believe it could be in a network of caverns or buried beneath the ever-changing sands of an abandoned beach. The story of Blackbeard's treasure is captivating and inspiring, regardless of whether the gold actually exists. It's proof that Blackbeard will live on, a legendary figure who, despite his vicious piracy, has become a symbol of bravery and defiance. All throughout the globe, treasure seekers and fans remain enthralled by the tale of Blackbeard's riches. An enduring legend has grown around Blackbeard's lost treasure, one of the greatest mysteries of all time, fueled by the fascination with the unknown, the excitement of the pursuit, and the hope of discovering a fortune. The influence of Blackbeard goes far beyond the wealth he amassed. Born Edward Teach in Bristol, England, around 1680, he became one of the most notorious pirates of his era. During the golden age of piracy, he terrorized the world and became a byword for crime. His legacy will endure forever. Blackbeard's brutal piracy, which included capturing ships and blockading ports, brought about the turbulent seas of his day and earned him lasting notoriety. His formidable flagship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, became an emblem of his dominion and a source of terror for mariners throughout the seas. But Blackbeard's legendary status was due to more than just his piracy. His tragic death at the hands of Lieutenant Robert Maynard in 1718 solidified his place in history. As a frightening warning to other pirates, Blackbeard's head was displayed, signifying the end of an era and the beginning of his transformation from man to myth. People have passed down the legend of Blackbeard over the ages, embellishing and transforming his story. Myths about his stolen wealth, his merciless strategies, and his supposed deal with Satan have all contributed to his legendary status. According to these tales, Blackbeard is a ghostly figure who still haunts the shores of North Carolina and Virginia, where he once lived and plundered. Despite numerous efforts to dispel the myths, the tale of Blackbeard continues to fascinate many. Historians, treasure hunters, and pirate enthusiasts alike remain captivated by his life and death, piecing together the secrets that surround him. No matter how much or how little treasure Blackbeard may or may not have had, the mere mention of his name is enough to make everyone nervous and solidify his legacy as one of the most infamous pirates in history. Is Blackbeard's loot still missing? For generations, that has been the burning question, the wellspring of speculation, and the impetus for innumerable quests for hidden riches. From the merciless rule of Edward Teach, alias Blackbeard, to his tragic death in 1718, The story of this infamous pirate has been one of mystery, fame, and horror on the high seas. The search for Blackbeard's riches has taken treasure hunters all over the world, from the ocean floor to secret caverns, from the sand dunes of Ocracoke Island to the sunken remains of the Queen Anne's Revenge. Yet, no matter how many enticing hints they uncover, the treasure continues to elude even the most determined fortune seekers. Mystery and intrigue abound in the tale of Blackbeard's treasure. A fascinating fusion of fact and fiction, it never fails to enchant. Whether it's a reality shaped by a pirate's infamous reputation or something else entirely, the pull of Blackbeard's buried wealth is impossible to ignore. But the story of Blackbeard goes beyond mere piracy and looting. This is the tale of a man who refused to conform to societal expectations, who dared to live life on his own terms, and whose enigmatic legacy has captivated people across the globe. Frankly, we may never know the truth, as Blackbeard himself put it. Only I and the devil know where it is.